Okay. All right. So
all right. Hey guys. We are talking about optimism today. And yeah, we're gonna get into like what this chapter meant to us. And like I really think it's cool. And I think I should give like an overview and breakdown too, just of like, for example, I know like there are some people who are with the GaryVee team and some people who don't understand like, all that is encompassing in his space, and like what he teaches and everything. And like, I think that just really everything that he goes over in this book and all of his books is just like, for me, it's like talking to a mentor, and so hopefully when you guys watch these videos, like even people were saying, oh, well, I can't find a mentor and I don't, have anyone around me, like listening to like people like his podcast or Oprah Winfrey's podcast, like, or even reading books like this and other books that I have too, like Eckhart Tolle, but it's all like a mentorship. Like you get to basically have a mentor who has already done these things when you take in their, content. And so that's something that I just wanted to talk about. And so today we'll be talking about optimism, and basically the start of the chapter, it starts with optimism, hopefulness, and confidence about the future or the successful outcome of something. And so let's just get into it. Do you have a lot of optimism? Would you say that you have optimism?
yes.
Putting
Sorry. These
no,
days,
no.
I would like to say yes, I have a lot more optimism than I once had. But don't get me wrong though, because I was I'm not gonna say like deteriorating, like debilitating, like pessimistic or anything like that. But like I did used to look at things from a very different angle. And I mean, I started working on myself before this, but then like the book actually helped a lot to kind of clarify, and then it kind of brings some understanding as to why, like why that may have felt like that, or why you was going through, or whatever the case may be. But as far as optimism goes, yes, I do have a lot of optimism. Like I believe, I'm a firm believer now that if you put one foot in front of the other, you're bound to get somewhere. If you shoot for the stars, or wait, you shoot for the what? How does the saying go?
You shoot for the stars, you land, at least you'll land on the moon or something.
Or you shoot for the moon and land in the stars or something. I don't know, but one of them too. But hell, you shoot for the moon, you're liable to get very high up there. So anyway, long story short, like these days I am very optimistic. I am a lot more optimistic than I have been in my past, which was probably a lot really hindering when it came to like actual things that I'm trying to accomplish these days. Like if I had the same mindset that I had 10 years ago, yeah. Because everything would have been everybody else's fault, and I wouldn't been able to do anything because, but I don't know. Maybe I'm getting off here, but yeah. So yes, I do have a lot of optimism.
No, I feel like even said like getting into where it's everybody else's fault. Like that's another chapter that's mentioned, which is accountability, which can be a hard pill to swallow. I had to swallow it yesterday. It was very tough. I took it with no water. And yeah, I was just like, it's ultimately my fault. But yeah, no, I feel you on that. For me, I would say I'm very optimistic. I would say that even more so, I can be delusionally optimistic, and that has gotten me where I wanted to go, but it didn't allow me to execute the way I needed to. Meaning, like, I wouldn't fully that. Like, I would get all the way there. Like, for example, let's take it back to like when I first moved to California. And it's awesome because these life lessons have given me, the ability to like look at my actions, see like, okay, I see what I did there. But in order to follow through, we need to have this kind of optimism, so to speak. So like, for example, I moved out to Cali when I was 18, went out there, didn't really have a plan. For example, I knew it would work out. I knew where I wanted to be. I got myself, in the right spaces and met some great people. But then it was like, well, but I still didn't fully achieve the goal for why I came out there. And that was because, of just other pieces of the puzzle that weren't fully there but because it was like, okay, delusionally optimistic means that it's not going to come to you, right? You still have to plan it out, have some steps, right? Some things might happen along the way in that plan, but it goes to that saying of like, if you aim at nothing, you'll hit nothing. So you have to have like a set destination so that at least, you know, you can be guided towards what in that direction of what you are supposed to do or what you want to do. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so you got to be flexible in it all. But yeah, I'd say that I am optimistic with with better with a better plan in place. You know what I'm saying? And understand that like I have to put in the work every single day to get there. It's not just going to come to me. Right. And so he talks about that here. He talks about like the definition of delusion, which is having a false belief of judgment or about external reality, or about external reality held despite incontrovertible, there we go, evidence to the contrary. But what I highlighted here, it says, with hope and confidence about the future, you have a higher chance of reaching your desired outcome. More important, you have far more control of your perspective than you have over the trillions of variables that make navigating the universe so tricky. And so I think perspective is really good too. It's like, if you think that you're going to win, you're going to win. You know what I'm saying? Because then that's your definition of win, and you're going to make sure that you're headed towards that at all costs. So yeah, what are your thoughts on it?
First of all, yes, all of that. But one of the things, yes, all of that. But one of the things he talks about, like as far as you talk about having that, I guess that delusional type of, what did you just call it?
Delusional optimism.
That the delusional optimism is that you kind of don't. He talks about fuck the lion. Like, you know, if people are too optimistic, you know, and you know they won't, you know, like you said, the delusional optimism, then there may be a problem when something actually comes up. They may not be able to really, like, you know, navigate that space. And I like how he touches bases on that, because everything else that kind of like led up to this particular chapter kind of points to being able to have that healthy optimism, self-awareness, accountability, gratitude. So like I think that people make things a lot harder than what they have to be. Like, if I had this whole little, I guess we'll speak on it, my whole awakening time, you know, my whole, you know, don't get me wrong, I'm all, you know, still, but at the same time, it's stages that you go through during that and people don't realize it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And like, you get into a point where at some point, and you don't mean to, because if you're genuinely a good person, like, you don't mean to like have a negative, you know, like, I've not ever been, what do they call it? Anti anybody, but I've always been pro my, you know, my people. But at the same time, like, during that awakening process, you can find yourself falling into that, I guess, that ego, pessimistic type mentality that kind of gets stuck. Like, you can't grow, you can't truly be optimistic and be closed-minded or shut off or segregated. You know what I mean? So like, there's so many different, there's so many levels to this optimism. But that's more of a, that's another, I don't know. But yeah, like,
I don't know. I think like, because also it doesn't just go to obviously business, you know, or it's just a whole, like, yeah, when you said you can't be optimistic and be closed-minded, I think, oh gosh, I could speak to that, and I'm trying to find the right words, because like, for example, when you're around people who don't really fully understand like your optimism or like what is going on, have to realize some people just might also be optimistic, but they might just be more closed-minded than you are. And I think that the more open your mind is, the more opportunities that you'll have with while being optimistic. And even here it says gratitude can fuel optimism. And so I think that when you just have a positive mindset overall, it makes it it's almost automatic to be optimistic. You know what I'm saying? When you just automatically, or even when you train yourself to be like, okay, it could be worse. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, dang, I'm mad that Z just happened, but it could be worse, And so, I feel you on that. I'll just say.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. Let me just respond to this.
Well, while you do that, I'm going to read this other sentence that I have highlighted, which is optimism is being thrilled about your next at bat while acknowledging that you're not guaranteed to hit a home run. I freaking love that, because that goes to like my accountability thing or having a plan in place to head towards what you want to go. But like, it's like I love it. That I can't even say anything around it, because it's just optimism is being thrilled. I needed that when I heard it. Optimism is being thrilled about your next at bat while acknowledging that you're not guaranteed to hit a home run. I'm gonna just leave it at that. Like, that's just it. So yeah.
that's some real stuff right there. A lot of people can't get out of the needing the shine or the, to actually take in what's really happening right before their eyes. So I totally agree with that. People don't even realize that having a chance means being in places that you're not normally. You know what I'm saying? You have to be in that. You know what I mean?
I feel you.
Can you hold on 1 second? Let me just pause.
Yeah.
Just a second. I'm gonna pause the recording.
Okay, cool. You good. Okay. Hey guys. So I just read too. Last thing that I have highlighted here. So first of all, one thing was think of optimism as a map. It can help you to see your destination, and then optimism makes the journey so much more fun. And then lastly, of course, it would be amazing if it happened, like having the mindset of like, it'd be great if it happened, but also being comfortable with, I'm okay if it didn't happen. You know what I mean?
Like, I'm a full blown what if person. What if it does? What if it do? What if it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I be talking about some of the craziest stuff. Don't get me wrong. Like, you know how electric cars just came into play, and we got the gas tanks and stuff like that. I'm like, buy a plot of land, build some electric. Like, right now be the time. Like, you be the popping. You know what I'm saying? Like, but like, yeah, and maybe it won't work. Maybe it'll fail. But you'll probably learn a lot about what's coming in the future, which is electric cars. So.
Right. Yeah. Right.
But
yeah. No, I feel you. Yeah, but that's all I have to say around it. Like, I think that optimism is really important to have, but like for me, I know being delusionally optimistic got me halfway there. And now I know like to bring it on back. And also like just a part of where it's like, yeah, and it'd be great if it happened, but I'm okay if it didn't, because I'm so grateful for what I am now. I'm so grateful for the journey to try to get there, like the process. This is the fun part. You know what I mean? And so
just to kind of reflect back on my NFT journey, like I can't unlearn anything that I've learned. So whether or not I get there or get to where I wanted to go when I first started to learn it, I still have learned it. And I can still, you know what I'm saying, utilize that information, how I so choose. If it's just continuing to build, or if it's just, maybe one day, maybe not as soon as I thought I was going to be able to do it, creating my own project, who knows? But like, it's all in the experience. And then like I would have never met you had it not been for the NFT space. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know people, I've been in rooms with people that have worked on major Hollywood films, and that's not like nothing to, I'm not bragging about that, but at the same time, who would have thought?
And if,
You know what I'm saying? Who would have thought? You know what I'm saying? So like, that's enough proof for me to just know that I'm in the right space to keep on going, to keep on putting one foot in front of the other. Because the fuck, like,
right. And that, yeah,
I'm
feel
just,
you.
I don't know. I'm just being, I don't know.
Mhm. No, heck, you know, I'm
I'm all
100%
outside of the elements, and it got me just really just, I don't know, like, I don't know.
feeling good. Okay,
Yeah.
come outside more.
Right?
That's, but yeah, I think this is great. So what we'll do, we'll wrap up here, and then we'll probably pause and chit chat a little bit after. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to check out the book if anything resonated with you, or you might already be reading the book, and that's how you stumbled upon this. And so yeah, I just wanted to say thank you, and we will talk to you soon. Bye.
Oh wait, I did the piece.
Okay.